Hell yeah. All right, guys. It is Thursday, and every Thursday around 12 p.m., we do a segment called Arch Thursday. So Arch is building something really special if you don't know. Arch is building a Rust-based model, which think when you think of Rust, think Solana, think some of the other ones, Aptos and Sui use a Rust-based model as well. Think that model on top of Bitcoin, right? Running a chain on top of Bitcoin, running and actually finalizing its transactions on Bitcoin. So every 10 minutes or Bitcoin block, you will see a bunch of rolled up Arch transactions being placed on Bitcoin. So when you go buy that puppet, you don't have to wait right away. You can actually go take a loan out on it right away in that same Bitcoin block. So that's what Arch is bringing us. They're bringing us that fast-paced environment on the number one chain in the world, which is Bitcoin, on a chain that has $1.8 trillion in liquidity, potentially, if some of those tokens aren't lost. It's actually really awesome, and we're so glad to bring these guys to you every single Thursday. So without further ado, let's bring up Nick. Nick, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thank you so much, sir.
Hey guys, how's it going? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. How you doing?
Awesome. Great. Dude, I'm doing great. It's been a crazy busy week, lots of fun stuff. You guys may have noticed we've been publishing a lot of great content on some of the really cool technical unlocks lately, and those have been killing it. Like we've done, I'm the marketing guy, right? So like I see like all the numbers and stuff, and we've got like such nerdy topics like cross-program invocation on Bitcoin. 14,000 impressions, and I got posted yesterday, right? And we've got where's some of the other good stuff we have? Yeah, it's just been really fun kind of getting into the nitty gritty of what makes Arch different, some of the technical stuff. And yeah, we've done some stuff on CPI, we've done stuff on Frost and Roast, we've done some stuff on the Arch rollback mechanism. So if you want to get like technical and nerdy with me, that stuff has been a lot of fun, and the community's been loving it. But we also have some big news this week too, and so a combination of that, and then also you guys might have seen, but DPI venture fund has basically exclusively said, "Hey, look, like we're gonna fund early stage projects on Arch," and to kind of make it clear why this is really powerful, or why this is out of the ordinary. Very few funds, will take a one big bet on one big ecosystem, right? And this is something where Arch, basically, if you're making your bet on Bitcoin, DPI believes you should be making on Arch, right? And that's pretty exciting to see. And it also means for our projects, especially new projects that might be building with us, that means that we have a chance to direct some funding toward you and kind of, give you that white glove experience. So it's been super exciting week, and happy to answer your questions and to touch base because, always love chatting to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, congratulations, because that is a huge accomplishment, for them to have that much conviction. And then, like you mentioned, runway is the biggest deterrent of like a startup continuing, right? And so being able to help some of these pillar protocols that are going to be crucial for the infrastructure ecosystem of Arch, and having that support is huge. So congrats for that. You guys definitely deserve it.
Others, really pay off when they made bets like this. Multicoin, made a big bet in Solana early on, and of course they've done very well with that. Multicoin, of course, led our seed round, so sometimes they will venture out to other ecos too. But the DPI has kind of decided, hey, we're going to be like the multicoin for Bitcoin and specifically for Arch. So super exciting.
Love that. Is there going to be kind of like this incubator like program that develops out of this that you guys are putting together with them in the background?
Background is the right way to phrase it, because we've kind of got all the pieces together and we're starting those conversations, but we haven't officially released it. You can expect that in the coming weeks, so pretty soon, I'd say. So that's really exciting. And that way we can spell it out for people like, hey, like here are the types of projects we're most interested in, here are like ways you can get involved. And just as some alpha for your crew here, if anyone here is watching as a builder, developer, especially if you have Rust experience or building on Solana, I can kind of give you some tea on the types of projects we're looking to support. Obviously, like, we're looking to fund like the core primitives that are going to support functioning DeFi ecosystem in Arch. We have a great DEX with Saturn. We have a great meme coin launchpad and AMM with FunkyBit. So we already have some of those pillars, but really like core DeFi primitives. If you're building a DeFi app, if you have some experience building before, you have a good team, and you're really looking for, obviously, Bitcoin native experiences, we're definitely interested in talking to you. We've got some stablecoin ideas that we're looking to get great founders for. We've got some great, perps decks type stuff. I mean, really just across the board. So looking to support those projects. Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention, you guys have VoltFi, you have Hamilton, you have Cha-Ching. I mean, so many amazing projects are building on you guys, man. It seems like every week there's new ones. Not to mention all the other people that you guys had on the show over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, so I'm just curious, like, what's the process? Let's just say I have a DeFi project, I'm building Solana, I'm not getting much traction. What do I got to do to potentially build on Arch?
Yeah, and that's a really good use case because, I think I told you guys in past episodes, but when I came on as CMO like almost a year ago now and wrote the white paper and we did our first outreach and we had a BD plan, and we were still figuring out, hey, who is like the best builder on Arch? Because we want to serve people who we can really help and also who are really well suited to have like the easiest experience integrating, or maybe not the easiest all the time, but at least the most like congruent, right? And so people who are building in Solana, it works very well because of also Rust-based, certain key concepts like cross-program invocation, like some of the other things we do, those are very Solana-based. And, we've created essentially our own custom VM that's UTXO-based and converts to UTXOs, but it is like a Solana fork in many ways too. So people who are from the Solana ecosystem, the great thing is, there's some great builders over there and we've seen that firsthand. The challenging thing, like you kind of mentioned, is that some of them, it's hard to get traction. It's already a built ecosystem, outside of like the top 3 or 5 apps on Solana, like how many can you really name, right? The giants kind of dominate that. And, the builders who are going to take a chance on a newer network, like what Arch is doing, they need to understand like the play here is that, the Bitcoin upside, right? And so as far as how easy is it to build on Arch, with a Solana background, it's pretty easy. We have like a doc book out there. You can play around with it. Most of it, if you're familiar with native Rust, like you can port it over, and then you just have to kind of add these little things that allow it to be compatible with UTXOs. And so there's certain coding snippets, certain structures that you have to add to it as well. So those are probably the biggest things. And then I'd also say this, which is that the challenge of building the Bitcoin ecosystem is not even always the direct code, but it's like, what infrastructure do we have in place? So what kind of indexers do we have in place? What kind of RPC calls can you do? Like, all these things, right? And so Saturn, actually, the Saturn DEX has done a great job pioneering some great infrastructure. They recently released the Titan indexer, of course, which allows for some really cool things, including indexing on the mempool level, which to my knowledge wasn't available before. So that's super cool. And then also, we've got Maestro, who's done some really good stuff as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you got some amazing builders. I forgot about Maestro on the top of my head, right? They're kind of like your chain link, right? So that's absolutely huge for you guys to have someone like them who has UTXO experience with Cardano coming over here now, messing with this Rust-based model, which is awesome. And you have to remember too, going back to my point, Solana. I mean, Aptos and Sui. I mean, a lot of that stuff over there. I mean, they're the Move language, which is a Rust-based model as well, right? That's a little different than what you guys have there, but it's really similar to exactly the same thing as Solana, and kind of bringing that over as well. So if you're on Aptos or you're on Sui and you're not getting much traction as well, you can potentially come over here. Have you guys had any Aptos or Sui builders reach out to you guys?
And I'm not always involved in the BD side, so I don't know how many, right? But definitely, talked to a few, especially from Aptos, I think. But haven't had a ton of projects I've ported over. Most of them so far have been Solana projects, and then of course, like people who were already building on Bitcoin, interest in Bitcoin, and all that.
Yeah, amazing, awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I froze forever, but I had to restart real quick. But you made a really good a comment that just stuck in my brain, because a lot of people have been asking why haven't centralized exchanges listed runes and stuff like that. Your comment is that when you're building on Arch and the Bitcoin ecosystem, like that, as a builder, you have to consider the indexers and stuff like that. And that's what me and Shizzy think is what's holding back like Coinbase and Binance is they don't want to set up a team of support for that and all that stuff. But what Arch can typically do with its launch is solidify the indexers and give more credibility to them. Because if Arch becomes this huge like gauntlet of a ecosystem, then they'll say, okay, well this whole chain or this whole network relies on these indexers. That's the green light. Am I coming up with something here, or am I off, do you think?
No, I think that's a very valid point. It's funny because we talk about the Bitcoin ecosystem, right? And it's really it's not an ecosystem to this point, right? It's a disparate floating islands, right? Not through anyone's fault. Like you've got runes and ordinals communities for sure, but like I'm talking about like actual apps, right? So like in other ecosystems, you have apps that are working together, composability, like. But you've got this Bitcoin ecosystem where if you're building natively on Bitcoin, there is no composability. Right? There's no way for apps to interact in a seamless and quick way with each other, to flow liquidity, and also to create the kind of like shared understanding indexers, things like that. I guess that's what like a runes protocol or but like you don't have these apps that can really speak to each other, right? And so what you actually need is to build that programmability part, the execution platform, which is what Arch is trying to be. So that you can have an ecosystem of apps, because once you do have an ecosystem, then you can have standardization of index or standardization of technology that allows everything to work together, right? And so you can kind of see it as like early days, like no one had created the boats to go in between the islands. You have all these islands, there's no trade between them, they're just very isolated. Once we have an ecosystem of Bitcoin that actually has composability and the ability to communicate and trade across borders of apps and things like that, then you can talk about, okay, these bigger players like institutional capital, like the Binance of the world and centralized exchanges actually coming in and being like, okay, we can hang our flag on that. DPI, the venture fund I mentioned earlier, for those of us who joined later, but DPI is making the bet that we are going to be that composable app layer platform that brings together the Bitcoin apps, brings in liquidity and brings in composability. And so they're making that bet earlier than like someone else might. But I think Shizzy, you were talking about maybe like would Magic Eden work on us and things like that. It's like, yeah, they're doing the same thing that a lot of these like larger platforms are doing, which is they're sort of waiting to see who emerges out of this Bitcoin eco. It's safe to say that the L2s aren't going to win. You just don't see any traction demand. You don't even see good performance. The whole idea is going to be performance, and Botanics is slow as hell, right? So, sorry for the stray Botanics, but anyway, point is
Botanics just caught a stray for no reason. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm messing around.
The proof is the pudding. Right? And it's slow right now, right? And so, you've got Stacks, which has never fully been able to, get to that next stage. And so, I've actually been talking to a lot of Bitcoin eco investors, and because we're working with DPI, but we're also working to get funding for our apps, and none of them are interested in these L2 plays because it's just very clear that there isn't a winning strategy there. Meanwhile, you have meta protocols that may have isolated success, but their potential is limited, right? So like something like Odin, great success story, I think, in many ways for what it's been able to do and showcase definitely the interest in these kinds of apps, but it's severely limited and it hasn't been able to push forward to like AMMs and be able to do things where you can actually graduate your tokens into runes easily, right? And that is going to be the next step, but it still isn't going to have that composability. So the question is like for investors, like it's very scary environment. They want to invest in Bitcoin apps. They believe in the thesis. It's a differentiated thesis, but like, do you put all your eggs in a single app? Like, no, they kind of need to see a winner emerge a little bit. And I think what you're going to see with the proof points that the apps are building us, with the venture support we're getting, with some of the announcements coming up in the next few weeks, there's going to be a lot of signal just showing that Arch is positioned and primed for that, which is fun because I'm here, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So with the VC DPI capital coming in, we're seeing a lot of VCs like really kind of making moves right now. Just the past week, we see Sats Terminal. They had Coinbase Ventures and Draper Labs. Now with you guys and DPI. I mean, it's starting to really look like something is happening here. Something is brewing. Something is going to be coming from this ecosystem, whether it's Arch or somewhere else. But how do you feel about the VCs kind of really sticking their nose in here? And I'm just curious if you heard anything about VCs potentially taking on some of your projects, whether that's Saturn or Ching or so on and so on, about coming in even further than just going after Arch.
I think people know that we've been raising a Series A, and I still can't say who it is or announce it today. It'll happen soon, but it is closed, and we had so much demand. I mean, oversubscribed, lots of interest, and so we had to be very strategic about the investors we brought on, because you can only give out so much. But I would say because of that, it created a real opportunity, and that's how we started the conversation with DPI. Is they had come a little bit late to the game in terms of being able to join our round, but lots of opportunity in Arch beta plays,
Yeah.
And for the average person who isn't an investor and is thinking about this, you can be an investor through like tokens and things like that, right? So like if you're like bullish on Arch, maybe you can't get in right now at the investor round or whatever, but when we do launch a token to decentralize the network, there's that. But I was even going to say like our beta plays are really cool. FunkyBit's doing some really interesting things. A lot of people have been on testnet getting FunkyBits, which should be good. And also FunkyBit has some stuff in store that I really can't. I'm like so close to waiting to. But like we'll announce it in all due time.
Just do it.
Yeah. All I'll say is pay attention, because FunkyBit's about to rock Bitcoin. That's all I can really say is that FunkyBit's about to make Bitcoin so fun, so active, and the cool thing is that they're gonna. This is the alpha I give, is that they're gonna be able to do some stuff. We as a network can. I'm just going to say that much. That's going to be really exciting. So stay tuned, follow the Arch account, and also I did want to say too, if you're a project, if you're just interested in learning more about VC stuff, let's add at DPI Capital in the chat, because they just got their Twitter up. They've been around for a while, but haven't been investing in it. And those guys, if you want to like be first to hear about some opportunities to maybe be one of the funded projects through like this accelerated program that we are incubating and we are building, I would definitely follow at DPI Capital on X. So
nice.
This is them right here.
Yeah, that's them. And as you can see, like they invest in pre-token round crypto deals. So they're looking to fund. We hear all the time like, well, no one will give me that first check, or no one will give me that early funding I need, right? Well, like this is the type of thing. So watch out for DPI Capital. They're doing interesting stuff.
Yeah, really interesting. They're just growing their Twitter here, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, seriously, whenever you do get like a full commit like that. Circling back a little bit to what you said about the winner and people are looking for that. I've always said there needs to be a home base, right? And and let's say that Arch establishes this home base. In my opinion, as time goes on, because I think that there's this interoperability, chain abstractions thing that's happening, and I don't think that's going to stop. But you still need a home base for every ecosystem, right? So what that could do, if Arch is the home base, is people like Odin or some of these L2s can figure out how to work with you guys as the home base, so everything kind of comes out like that, right? Like kind of like this thing. Could you see a future like that?
Absolutely. The cool thing is like everything kind of can work with Arch, right? And that is specifically because it is able to move assets and change state on the Bitcoin based layer. This isn't an L2. If it was, then you'd have to like move everything into that ecosystem. Here, you can kind of like use smart contracts through Arch while still remaining on Bitcoin. and that allows a connectivity layer, right? So I think that's important. I think, we've been thinking a lot about like what makes us different too, because you do see a lot more stuff. When we started like this whole, TSS model and like build like a decentralized multi-sig model and like, be able to like control Bitcoin wallets so that you can actually enable programmability without bridging, like no one was doing this, right? This was a year ago. Like no one was talking about this. Everyone thought it couldn't work. I mean, the giga brain that he was like figured it out. Now we are seeing some models that are similar, but also in key differences. So we see a lot more of the TSS schemes. We see a lot more popularity of that. Odin is an example that you put your money into Odin, and then it does a bunch of things, and you can spit it back out, right? And you can do it, relatively easily with Bitcoin wallets, and that's cool. What's different about us between that model and also like some of the schemes that like Stacks and Botanics all have is that they all still have a like a set validator set, right? So it's not, you can't truly decentralize it. The number of people signing the keys, things like that, like you agree to them, they're kind of, and there's no like decentralized way. Obviously from day one we won't have that because we are going to have to bootstrap the network and all that, but very quickly, like as soon as we launch the token, we will have a decentralized validator set, which means the question is like, the way I think about it is, if you're staying on Bitcoin, you can either like play in one neighborhood or play in the other. Like, do you want to play in that neighborhood that has like centralized signers that are kind of like still running the show, or do you want to like be able to stay in Bitcoin decentralization, and then when you go to a new neighborhood to like play around, play some basketball, do whatever, like do you want to also be a decentralized environment? Do you want to go from decentralized to decentralized as opposed to decentralized and who the hell knows what's under the hood, right? And that's going to be the key difference, and why so many people are bullish on us is because we are actually doing something much more similar to Bitcoin values rather than some of these other options that are kind of like, all right, so it's on Bitcoin, but it's still, you'll know who's kind of got control of everything, right?
It's exciting stuff.
It that way. Yeah. Was that awkward? Was that weird?
No. I think it's exciting to look forward to this, because you don't necessarily have to like cancel everybody else out because there's this home base, right? You can like people that built like substantial products or like things like that, they can work with Homebase, and you can be successful together as an ecosystem. And I think having this kind of like this is it and that's it. It goes back to the Bitcoin laser eye mentality, and I think we're away from that. There are black and white lines for sure in terms of like fundamentals and stuff like that, but as we're seeing, if our industry is going to be the future, which we all believe that, then there's going to be some cohesiveness, and that's a good thing, I think. But you do have to have home bases, in my opinion, and I think Arch has an opportunity to be the home base for the Bitcoin ecosystem
right now, and hopefully Arch can be that for Bitcoiners, right? So super excited about that, for sure.
Yeah, and
for sure.
And Arch is such an opportunity to bring on the Bitcoin community, right? I mean, you guys has already built community here, whether it's Bitmappers, BRC20s, Runes guys, Ordinals people, right? You guys are in a situation where you're not building an L2 on Ethereum where you're just kind of hoping for a copy of something to come over there. You guys are actually building here with assets that are already in the billions of dollars or have been in the billions of dollars, and potentially could easily you got a bridge, right? To easily be adapted by a lot of these projects that are building here, and that's your advantage. Your advantage is the community that's already here, and you guys adapting to that community. I guess my next question is like, how are you guys planning to go after the Ordinals community, the BRC20 community, the Runes community, and saying, guys, come here?
Look, as a marketing guy, it'd be easy to say like, we have some like secret plan, or if we just like do this cool flywheel and we create this graphic and suddenly everyone loves us, and like we're going to be doing all the things in the marketing playbook. But the reality is that the core of it, this is actually a product fit thing, and this is why I joined Arch, just because I was so excited because I saw the clear product market fit. Because I don't think Ordinals people, Runes people, they're so plugged in, man. They're so online. They are watching everything that's going on. They're trying new things. Like these are like top notch, like on the ground running innovators, because they're willing to try something as crazy as Bitcoin programmability, right? So like these are like already people. Yeah, this community, I don't worry so much about like trying to get the message to these people, because these people are plugged in. it's other people from other communities that might not know what's happening on Bitcoin. We might still be operating with, language from a year or two ago where like nothing, you can't really do anything, whatever. But the Bitcoin community, where I'm trying to lead to here is that if you have a product that solves their core problems, which is the liquidity problem, which is the speed and the UX problem, like, I mean, look, we are so embedded in these communities. We are of the community. We own all these rooms. I'm still holding my pups bag from really high top of the market in November. I have not sold. I don't know if it's because I'm like super bullish and just believe everything's going to come back. I do believe in pups. I do believe in the founders. Or if I'm just like crazy, but like, and stubborn, but like either way, like, I'm holding on to this stuff. We're all in these communities. So there's that. But at the end of the day, it's also like as simple as, does this help people? Yes. Okay. Well, then they're going to use it. Right. And so I'm not worried about attracting the Runes and Worlds community because we're having those conversations and we're doing partnerships and we're already part of the community. But at the same time, like at the end of the day, like if we fix their problems, they're going to want to use us. And that's where we're really focused.
I love it. It's Wayne's World, man. If you build it, they will come. Right? It's or I guess back to another movie. That's right.
Build the dreams. Don't get it.
Wayne's World, man. Wayne's World.
Field of Dreams, Wayne's World. That's crazy. Yeah. Wayne's
But
World.
if you build it, they will come. And I truly believe that's definitely Arch, man. And guys, if you guys have time, go check out their Discord. Go join the community here. They got announcements, tweets, everything here. Go check them out on Twitter. Go check them out everywhere. Be a part of something special. What's up? I don't know. Someone.
Like a babe on this.
I think she's trying to sell me crypto products or something. I don't know.
That's some Greek mythology right there. I love it. Yeah, I just gotta give you shit. But
no, it's all good. It's okay. I'm married, so that's
okay. There's a reason why the notification is unread for Shizzy.
I don't look at it.
Yeah.
But anyway, go check these guys out. And Nick, I would love to give you a few more minutes to kind of talk to the community. Let them have it, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think in addition to building a real ecosystem, like we talked about a lot of the different stuff we're doing, DPI support, making sure to really engage our products, engage the Runes and Worlds communities. But I'd also say like we're really trying to build the best community for for Rust developers, right? And so you're seeing a lot of that. We've started a new weekly competition. We actually got like, I think 16 submissions or something, which is pretty good for like the first week and like what's a relatively small prize. It's just like a $250 bounty. But we really wanted to see just like who wants to like, mess around and like play with some Rust and like create some stuff with Arch. And, it's been really fun to see people start to participate in that. And we're now in week 2 of that. And I think it's either our pin post or one of the upper posts, but you can check out and see what the bounty is for this week, what people can build. But just so you know, like you're not operating in a vacuum if you participate in that. Like our Discord is still like a small enough tight community that like if you post something, like you will be seen by pretty much everyone on the core team too. 2, if you're doing something on the bounty, like we're actually looking through that and like actually assessing like, oh, this is like really good code. Like we were geeking out over some of the code the other day. We were like, hey, like we need to like see if we can get this guy in a project or have them build something. So 25 developers signed up for week 1. Heck yeah. So I just like big shout out to Caleb, our new head of ecosystem. I know he came on like last week or the week before.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Dude, he's a killer. Big brain guy from Big Brain Ventures, right? And then he's awesome. Brian, our community manager, social media manager, who you saw just now, obviously like he's a killer. So love the work that they've done on we made a conscious decision to kind of like shift away from the testnet points program, which had kind of like it's been 6 months, like we're happy with where it's at, toward more of a Rust developer friendly ecosystem where it's like that's the first thing you see. And I think it's gone really well, and like Brian said, lots of applicants. So we want to handpick people out of that to go build amazing projects and get rich. So do really fun stuff and get rich.
Yeah.
Right? So definitely encourage people to check that out. And also, I don't know if we had any questions in the chat or anything, but like I'm super happy to answer questions. I don't know if you guys had any more questions for me.
I got one, but I don't know if you want to answer it. So just tell me to F off if it's pushing. But a rumor has it potentially Q2 mainnet launch.
F off, Shizzy. No,
F off, Shizzy. F off, Shizzy. No, it's all good.
Q2, I think it's possible still. Yeah, that's kind of what we've been aiming toward. Here's what I'd say to that. I don't know if this will make you more bullish or less bullish, but I will let people decide for themselves, which is the best way to do marketing and communication. Is just like, I'll give you the facts and you decide. But what I will say is we are in security review. And so that should tell you.
That's bullish. It's super bullish.
I think it's bullish. Now, I'll also be upfront and say, like, there's some security reviews that take a year. Like, I don't think that's not going to be the case with us. That's not going to be the case with us. I'm not trying to FUD us, but like, I'm trying to let people decide like what that means for them. Yeah. But like, the reason why I can't tell you definitively like this date is frankly because it's not in our hands. Now it's in the hands of security review. Outside group, Zelic, if you know them, they're doing the work. So they're doing security review, and then of course, like whatever turns up, because there's always stuff that turns up. Whatever turns up, we're gonna have to go fix that. We don't want to lose anyone's money. So we are absolutely dedicated to providing a safe, fun, and hopefully lucrative environment for the people who participate in our apps. And so we're going through security review right now. Take that for what it is. If some magic happens and they finish their review a week or two from now, then you would expect us to hit mainnet earlier, right? If it takes longer, then it takes longer. But so it's a little bit out of our hands, but we're super bullish. We're super excited.
I love you being honest with that question, right? That's something you could have just been like, ain't get me this time, Shizzy. So I really appreciate the honesty and really awesome to actually hear that from you guys, man.
Yeah. Definitely a fair answer for sure. And that's the perfect answer because it lets people know kind of where they are too. So appreciate you as always, Nick, man. You guys are amazing, at what you do in terms of communication to the ecosystem, the community. I could probably count on my hand how many builders of a project this big that does this. So I think the community appreciates it. I know we do for sure. And we can't wait to have you back on next week. Take it easy. You too.
See. Absolutely amazing as always, man. Go check those guys out, man. Make sure you guys are following them on Discord, on X, and everywhere that you possibly can, man. Really appreciate them taking the time out and really educating our audience, man. 449 people in here right now on X and YouTube. Really, really awesome, guys. Really awesome. This is a project you guys, getting into this now is like getting into Solana 4 years ago, right? 5 years ago. So this is something super early, but if you guys can take advantage of it, you saw Solana do a 10,000x. So who knows, right?
Exactly. And the confidence booster is DPI really just shoving their chips in here, and the incubator program.
That too. I love the fact that he basically said like that's their multi-chain capital, right? Like multi-chain capital is David Sachs, right? Mm-hmm. That's a big statement from Arch, man.
Yeah, and it makes sense. You see some big funds do it, Draper University. Yeah. You see other stuff like that, and this is kind of the start of the Arch version of that. So we'll see who else kind of jumps on board as well. But amazing show. We got anything else to kind of finish it off with? Is that it?
That's it, really. I don't have anything good. We get some stuff to say for tomorrow, but yeah.
Perfect. Guys, 456 of you guys are crushing it for us. We thank you so much. And thank the Arch community as well. I know some of you guys are definitely in here as well. Shout out to y'all. And just keep hanging out with us. Learn every day as much as you can. I promise there will be brighter days, consistent brighter days that will come. But yeah. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Without y'all, we couldn't do it. And we want to let you guys know how much we appreciate y'all. And also our partners, we appreciate them, of course. If you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate that. Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for bridging and jumping ordinals from Bitcoin Layer 1 to possibly Arch one day, maybe. But, you can do it to Merlin Chain. You could do it to Base. You could do it to Abstract, eventually Solana as well. And you're going to be able to use their AI agent hustle to help you vault those ordinals in the near future as well. And he's going to be able to help you trade on a Bitcoin and currently Solana. You can do so. And don't forget about their TGE in September with their Runes token. You can participate in a pre-sale environment on OpenSea right now. If you search Emblem Founder Vault Keys, you can actually purchase them. They're a ERC721. It is an NFT for now, but once the TGE happens in September, you will be able to get your Bitcoin runes into your Bitcoin wallet with instructions instructions from them. You can learn all about this at emblem.vision. And BetBTC is the predictions marketplace of the Bitcoin ecosystem. All you need is a Bitcoin wallet, some Bitcoin, and 6 Bitcoin blocks for now. That could shorten in the future. But then you can place bets on their markets, like their blitz markets, which is kind of longing and shorting Bitcoin, BNB, or Solana. You can choose. You get 10 minutes. I recommend letting that clock roll down all the way to the end. But you lock in your price if you think it's going to go up or down from there. And then additional 10 minutes to see if you're right. So make sure you're checking out betbtc.win to learn more about that process. In Artura Finance, the perps and leverage decks of the Bitcoin ecosystem, they're going to be launching on Bitcoin Layer 2 Hemi, which is backed by Binance Labs. So pretty big date coming up for them for their launch. You're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin fungibles like Ordi, Sats, Doggo to the Moon, and much more as well. And you're going to be able to trade stuff outside of the ecosystem like XRP, Tau, Ethereum, stuff like that. It's going to be a fun time once they do go live on mainnet, but you can also participate, outside of trading by providing liquidity in their liquidity vaults, earn passively. Learn more at artura.finance. And Fluid tokens, the first to offer staking to retail users on Bitcoin Layer 1. If you are a founder of an ordinal collection or you etched a rune with an established community, you can head over to their Discord to learn on how to get a staking vault set up for your community. They are also building the bridge between Cardano and Bitcoin, and they have their rune that's going to be launching very soon, and you're going to be able to bridge back and forth with that. Super cool stuff. These guys are building huge things, but really learn more about them by joining their community on their Discord. That's the biggest thing. They have people there all the time to answer questions. Learn more at fluidtokens.com. So super exciting stuff from them. And Merlin Chain, your number one scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you are a builder and want your protocol to be a bit more flexible, you can build on Merlin Chain. Reach out to their team. They have great builder support there. And you can participate on securing the chain by staking your Merlin token or your Bitcoin token. Very soon, they're going to add that. But for Merlin, you can earn 15% APR. So exciting stuff there. And lastly, our integrated partners. And Foxy AI building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, and the first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker, which we typically live stream every Tuesday, but we're going to start picking that back up very soon. We will let you know once we do that. And Ordinal Hive is your aggregator ordinal marketplace for Bitcoin Layer 1 and Layer 2. Cheapest ordinals around will be on Ordinal Hive, and amazing trader tools as well. So make sure you're checking them out. And thank you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man, as always. And if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io, that is our website. We got some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. It will get them started and code up to where we are today. If you guys are in need of a VPN, we have the number one VPN that I use, which is Nord. Definitely highly recommend you guys getting VPN. There is some free ones out there. Guys, don't be going to these websites, especially crypto websites, with your IP out, guys. When you go to these sites, they know exactly where you are. I know you guys signed into Yahoo and Google, and then it'll send you an email saying, hey, this person from this place signed in. For me, it's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I'm like, damn, every time I should have my VPN on. I want to see the Czech Republic or something when I sign into stuff, because I think I highly recommend everyone get a VPN, use Nord. It's $3 a month for Nord. I know some people say it's expensive, but if you don't go through ours, it's $10. So get our coupon here, click that $3 a month. I think I paid $36 for the year. Set it, forget it, and then pay it next year. So check that out. If you guys are going to Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. But do not wait till May to get your tickets. Get them as soon as possible. Get them in April. And use our link here, guys. The cheapest prices today. They seem to go up every Friday. I'm a little worried about tomorrow's price. So if you are interested in going, buy your tickets today. Supply and demand, guys. Supply and demand. There's the demand goes up, the supply gets lower, the price goes up. So definitely check that out. And if you guys need merch for anywhere really, for any event or just kind of lounge around the house, we've updated our site. And we're going to be adding new stuff every single day. If you guys want us to add something, please reach out to us, guys. We can pretty much add anything. If you have a PFP, it's not even an ordinal, whatever, it doesn't matter. We can add anything for you guys. We can put it on jackets, hats, whatever. Or if you're a project out there and you're like, yo, I want to use your site to launch my merch, we can do everything for you. We use a third party. We use Shopify. We can split the commissions. Let us know. We can pretty much do anything with the store. We're really trying to push the store in the upcoming months. So let us know how you guys can help and how we can help you as well. So I really appreciate you guys taking that time out. And we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the CEXs. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and arching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.